Hey everybody, it's Dillon James, and on today's video we're going to be talking with former Globetrotter Will Bullard about his life and his renewed love of sports cards. But before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, click that subscribe button, and push that notification bell, so every time we drop a new video, you'll be the first to know about it. So I have a very special guest with me today. His name is Will Bullard, and he is a former Harlem Globetrotter, and he is into cards too. So we're going to dive deep into this conversation about cards, about Harlem Globetrotters, about his organization that he put together as well. So Will, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, talking about everything, about your history, and I'm excited to get this conversation going.
Hey, I'm excited too, man. Thanks for having me. I did reach out to you guys because I love the app that you guys have first and foremost. The Cardbase app, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I mean, I love everything about the app, so.
Love it. Love it. We'll talk more about that too and talk about how you use the app with your cards and collectibles. But let's start off first. Let's go to the very beginning. Let's tell people who you are, how you became who you are today, how you got with the Harlem Globetrotters. Just kind of give us a little background on Will Bullard.
So for me, man, originally from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised. I started playing basketball when I was 13 years old. My mom was a drug addict. My dad was never around, and I grew up in like some of the worst parts of Detroit, Michigan. So when I was 13, when I was 12, excuse me, I was placed into foster care, and got taken away from my biological mother. And when I was in foster care, all I did was just sit around and be sad. So my second to last foster home, my foster mom was like, you know what? You need to go outside. You need to do something because you're growing right now. You're extremely tall. You're eating up all my food. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do nothing but just sit here. She's like, no, get out and go outside. So I was saving up my money and I bought a little basketball hoop, but she was the person to inspire me to go play basketball. So when I was 13 and went outside, picked up a basketball and I fell in love with the game, man. And it was history ever since then. Got my first dunk at 13. Street ball legend in Detroit, 16, 17, 18 years old. Finally started playing basketball in high school. I played 5 high school basketball games, but I mean, I just wanted to be a part of a team, honestly, because all my hard work was paying off. So senior year came around for high school. I didn't have any offers to go anywhere. So one of my boys was like, you know what, go try out for this school. And I went and tried out. Ended up being a freshman All-American my first year.
Wow.
Second year, I wanted to do better. So I moved down to Dallas, Texas, and I went to Richland College. I was all-conference honorable mention for half a season there. And I signed my letter of intent to Texas A&M Corpus Christi 2007, 2008. So I played there my last 2 years. And after that, it was just kept going up. Like, I've always knew that I had a gift for basketball, but I made the 2008 NCAA College Slam Dunk Contest. I was in there with like some of the big names like Patrick Ewing Jr., Darren Washington, James Jizz, Sonny Weems, and a few more big names. And I happened to come in second. I was the shortest player dunker in the competition.
Wow.
And I had fun. So after that, I'm like, you know what? This is amazing. I'm getting all these text messages and stuff like that. This is cool. But I was so humbled from basketball that I was just like looking to finish out of school and get my degree. And then when I got back down to Corpus Christi after the dunk contest, the New York Jets called me and they were like, wait, we seen you in a college dunk contest. We want to bring you in for to try out for wide receiver. And this was when Eric Mangini was the head coach. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll come in. But the awkward part about that was I've never played football before in my life. Like I would play two-hand touch and pick up football in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But
sure.
When the New York Jets called me, I looked at my boy and was like, yeah, do it. I'm like, all right, cool. Because I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the opportunity. It looked good on my resume.
Yeah.
After that, got back to campus, finished out that semester of school, moved up to Seattle, Washington in 2008. And then the Harlem Globetrotters called me, and I did it for 13 years, man. And I don't even know. It's speechless. I still get shocked sometimes that I did a lot of things in those 13 years with the Globetrotters.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, before we started recording, we talked about a little bit off air, talking about all the countries you've been to, the 2 passports you have as well, which I'm sure they're slap full of places that you've gone, which is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible. So with the Harlem Globetrotters, like how they approached you, do you just go in for an audition? Do they just see tape of you and say you'd be great for the Globetrotters? Come play out with the
See,
guys a little bit, and like what happens in that scenario?
with that, in 2008, I was in a dunk contest. It was on ESPN, and it was just one of those stages where you just have to be yourself, you know. So I was out there, I was dunking, I was playing to the crowd, you know, and being the shortest player, they was like, wow, he actually can dunk for being 6'4", you know, and I mean he's actually pretty good. He got good characteristics out there on the floor, and then they called me in for the interview. That's what it is the
Okay,
interview slash tryout all together in like one deal. So I
interesting.
went down, and it's just like a regular job. You know, you got to come in, you got to be ready to answer certain questions, and you got to be ready to perform. So I went down and I was catching every dunk left or right. I was surprising myself with some of the passes that they were throwing, and because it's a different level of basketball and different level of athleticism that you have to have being a Globetrotter. You know, because
Yeah,
all the guys that came before you, like Mike Wild Thing Wilson, who dunked a 12-foot rim, you know, you got to be able to try to go up there and get that, no matter how tall you are. But
yep.
the passes it comes crazy, and I went in for the interview and I killed it. I did it. You know, I just was myself, and they loved it, and it was a good time. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. 13 years later, you were doing that. So after those 13 years, what did you do after that? What did you do after the Harlem
So
Globetrotters?
after visiting 70 countries around the world, it was COVID had hit, and I had to come home prior to COVID to get knee surgery for MCL cleanup. And when it was time for me to get back on the road, they had shut everything down for because of COVID. So I was ready to go, you know. But
Yeah.
then me and my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, was like, we need to start thinking about other things because we need to start getting some more income in the house. And I'm cool with that. You know, I mean, I got a
Yeah.
little money saved up, and things happen. But for me, it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna start using my personal training skills. So I got into a gym with a guy that I met up in Seattle, and we linked, and we were just like, um, just doing it. You know, I would do personal training. It was a CrossFit gym that I worked at for a few months up there, and then I told my wife I don't think I want to go back on the road anymore because uh that last year, 2021, when I retired, that was going to be my last year anyway, because
Okay.
I was going to try to have like a farewell tour, because I did it for 13 years, you know, and all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
younger guys are up and coming. Even though that when I did retire, I was probably top 10 in a few categories, you know, and I didn't leave on a bad note. I left on positive notes all the way across the board, and it was just time for me to move on.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
awesome.
we moved, me and my wife got married in July of 2021, and 9 days later we moved to Sonoma County, California, where I live now. I live in Petaluma, California, which is up north, you know, of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay.
And I had a gig up here that I was supposed to do basketball training with, didn't work out. And now I work for the North Bay Basketball Academy, which is probably like the best basketball academy north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and probably one of the biggest basketball academies in California, I would
That's
like to
awesome.
say. So I've been doing that since we moved to California, man, and I love it. I do personal training. I'm a corrective exercise specialist, basketball trainer, basketball skills development coach, and I also coach two teams. I have an 8th and 9th grade combo team, and I also coach the local varsity guys as well. So coaching, personal training, and card collecting on the side, you know, so that's what I'm doing now.
A lot on your plate, it sounds like. A
I
lot on your
mean,
plate.
yeah, it is, but I try to keep myself busy, man, you know. So,
That's good. That's good. Well, when it comes to card collecting, you kind of mentioned it there. What got you into card collecting? I mean, you
man,
have an
so
Instagram page now with your cards and things like that. You're always promoting pictures and stuff on your Instagram pages. But just tell us how that all started.
Man, so April of 2021, we came up here, and my wife's best friend lives next door, and he was collecting cards for one of his friends. So his friend would just send him packages, and he would have just like hella cards over there, right? So I just happened to just start looking at some, and I was like, yo, he got some gems. He had about 20 Kobe cards. He had about 50 Michael Jordan cards. I didn't see the 86 Flair, so I wasn't too pumped about
Yeah.
that. So, but He had a lot of cards, and I was like, man, like this is bringing back memories, because when I was like 16, 17 years old, I used to collect like the Pokemon and all the NBA hoops cards and things like that, but I never really took it serious. You know, we just had the binders with everything in it, not taking
Yep.
care of it.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I would love to get back into it. And it just so happened my wife's mom um had a 45-gallon tub full of unopened cards, like all of these right here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so she gave me all of these packs, and this is around the time where I tore my patella tendon, because I tore my patella tendon in September.
Okay.
So August, I got all of these cards, and it was just sitting in here. So then I just started deep diving into it, man, and I fell back in love with it probably within like 2 or 3 weeks. It was addicting real quick for me, because once I find something that I like or I love, I try to stick with it for a while.
Yep.
And I was be in my office for like 5-6 hours a day just doing research.
That's crazy. That's great.
Unreal, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people, during the pandemic, that's what happened. A lot of people got back into cards and saw the values of the cards as well that were going out there, selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars on certain cards, especially that 86 Fleer. I mean, that's one of the most highly regarded basketball cards for Michael Jordan in his career. So it's definitely huge cards that these people are selling online and such. I mean, again, a lot of people got into it at that time, but it's pretty cool that, people like the heart, some other celebrities out there are getting into it as well. I mean, that's really cool that you guys have gotten an interest in it, and it's driving more eyes to the hobby itself.
And I think that that's good, man, because it shows kids that it's other things to do, besides sit on the internet all day and scroll on your phone. You can actually get out there, find a card shop, and find a pretty good hobby, that can actually, if you find some good cards, can actually pay for your school in the future. If you start young enough, because I went to a trade show last night down here at the Strike Zone in Petaluma. We have a local card shop, and it was kids in there, like left to right, just in there with their binders. Hey, you got this? You got that? And I give a few of my cards away to kids all the time, because that's what it's really about,
Absolutely.
Like for me, card collecting it is nostalgic for me, but I also got the things that I really like and the things that I do PC. So I think for people like myself, when we show people that it's okay to do other things, that besides video games and all this other stuff out there in the world, man, I feel like it's a good platform to do it on.
Yeah, and you're getting more skills too. Sales skills as well when it comes to talking to people. I mean, like when it comes to those trades and such, it's a business deal essentially. And some of these kids are getting those skills really early, which is really cool to see as well. Speaking of your PC, what players do you PC? Do you PC just basketball? Do you PC football as well? I mean, what kind of sports do you PC?
I only PC Shaq. I had to tone it down. I was collecting this and this and this and this. Like, how it is when you get into the hobby. So I was like, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want that. I was like, So I told my wife, we both love Shaq, right? And I'm like, you know what? I think that's a person I'm going to personally collect for forever, because not only was Shaq the most dominant big man ever, I feel like he was one of the greatest of all times, man. And what he does off the court is what really makes me love him even more as a human being, because Shaq is Shaq on the basketball court. Off the court, Shaq is Shaq.
Yep.
So for me, I got a few graded cards of Shaq. I got this one, which is
very cool. Yeah.
This one, I got another one, the same style right here.
The Spectra, yeah, beautiful card.
Yeah, so I got a lot of Shaq cards, but I got to send a lot of them in to get graded. And for me with Shaq, I don't care what the grade is when they come back. Even though I am trying to find cards that's like 8 and 10 and up, I just want to get them graded to have them encapsulized.
Absolutely.
But besides Shaq, all my rated rookies pretty much, and that's it. But my PC is just Shaq.
That's awesome. When it comes to grading, do you just specifically send? I saw you had SGC holders. Do you just specifically go to SGC? You think that's the best play for you?
I don't. I sent I think I just sent 10 cards to PSA to get graded. But I usually, the way that I do it is I see which card company is going to get me my most value for my card. If it's something I want to hold on to for long term, I usually go through the app, Cardbase app, and I click, because it's so easy on the app. Not just trying to blow it up or anything, but it gives you that option of SGC 10, and it shows you what it is, right? And then it also gives you a quick option of the PSA 10, like this card right here. The Ricky Henderson rookie.
There you go. Yeah.
So, and when you look on the SGC app, it shows you that the Ricky Henderson rookie in the SGC 10 is like 80 something thousand. Then on PSA, it's like 70 something thousand. So I like the app for that reason, and I use SGC and probably only PSA. I got a few that I'm going to send it back at, like my Troy Aikman and my David Robinson rookie cards, because those two are going to be highest value with BGS, I think.
Yeah, I think BGS too. It's kind of been going back and forth between SGC and BGS, the two that are trying to vie for that number 2 spot when it comes to card grading. So that's a good play. SGC is a really good alternative when it comes to value as well. Just the grading prices they have and the turnaround times have been fantastic recently as well compared to what we've seen with PSA. Although PSA has brought down their backlog quite a bit, so it seems like their turnaround times are getting to be just a few months instead of 6 months to a year, which is a good turnaround time. Which is a good turnaround time for that.
Very true, man. Very true. Yep.
That's awesome. So when you were the Harlem Globetrotters, did you ever have any encounter with like cards? Did they ever make cards for the Globetrotters?
So,
I mean, do you think that was?
What year? I forget what year it was, but way back when, I want to say it could have been like 2010 or 2011. We were going back and forth to China because we had a partnership with a company over there. So I've been to China possibly like 8 or 9 times.
Okay.
Right, just by going over there for like maybe months at a time. And one year we went over there, and they did actually hand us some cards, so like that we could pass out of ourselves to the people around the city of China. So I think I had about 500 cards when I first started of myself, and then I passed them all out, and I kept 3 or 4, and I gave them to my grandmother back in 2010. I want to say 2010. So
awesome.
Recently, this past like 2021, I went up to my grandmother's house, and she had those 4 cards in the in her little showcase thing. So I took them. So I took them like, Grandma, I'm back in the card collector. Let me get those. So this was actually awesome. The card right here.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So I had it just put it in my little hard case, but it's nothing that's like of value, but it's still like a cool little piece for me to have,
Absolutely.
So,
That's awesome.
that's
That'd be a cool
what
set
it
to
was.
collect too. I'm sure even though you were handing out like 500 of yourself, I'm sure your other teammates were handing out a lot as well. I mean, that'd be an interesting set to collect just simply because the rarity of it all, especially if they were just hanging them out in the China area. I'm sure that would be a really, really cool set to collect.
Yeah, so I have this one. I gave one to the card shop down here in the area, and then I gave one to my mom-in-law. So it's only 3 of these
That's
that
awesome.
I have. And so what I think I'm going to do with this one is just I'm going to sign it, I'm going to autograph it, and then send it into PSA because my autograph is authenticated with JSA. So I'll just have them authenticated, and then that way it's just a good little card for me to hold. So
Good little keepsake. Yeah, pass it down to your family. That's awesome.
yeah, they would love it. So.
Yeah, well, for sure. So let's talk about this now. Let's talk about your bull body project. You kind of talked to me about it a little bit when we were conversing on Instagram, but just tell the people like about the bull body project, how they can go out there and help the project as well, donate and things of that nature. Just kind of give us a background on that.
So for me, like I said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised in like one of the worst areas in the city of Detroit, Michigan, right? And a lot of kids in the inner city don't have escapes. So back in 2014, I started Bull Body Project up, and it was about personal training. It was about having free workouts for everybody, holding free basketball camps, holding skills and drills and stuff like that, not charging kids anything, because I started it up in Delaware in 2014, and I had it out there running for 8 years. Every year we would have a free workout, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You come out, no matter what age you are, no matter how big, small, doesn't matter who you are, you just come out, be around some good positive vibes and good positive energy. So when I was a kid, when I was in foster care, one of the things that I loved to do was work out. Besides writing poetry, I used to love to work out. I used to love to play basketball, and I was just always an active kid. So every time we had a free workout, I would always have kids come out to the workout, and I would talk to them. It was like a little motivational speaking type deal.
Yeah.
I would tell them, you got to get uncomfortable in life. Like for me, I got my shirt on right here. No one cares about your excuses. No one cares about you complaining. All you got to do is get uncomfortable, and that's just plain and simple. No matter what age you are. No matter what it is, you got something that you want to do. You got a task that you want to complete. Don't complain. Just do it. It sucks. It sucks. Like working out, it sucks. Sorry, excuse my language, but it sucks. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you're going into the gym by yourself, Like, you don't have no one to motivate you, and you're
Mhm.
looking at yourself for motivation. You're gonna let yourself down,
Yep.
right? Because you put too much importance on that. But my thing is, no one cares about your excuses. Only you should really care. You know, you got to get in there. You got to overcome that. So what I do is, like, whoever donates to the brand or to the organization, I take that money and I give it to a basketball team who's from inner city, or I have some type of project or something that's going on. Like the little donation that you sent me, it's a basketball team called CTM. It was one of the guys who told me to go to college to play basketball, and he has his
Okay.
nonprofit organization. So what I do is I collect for myself if I want to have something like a skills and drills camp, and I put that on with that, sponsored by Cardbase and Dillon. You get what I'm saying with
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
part?
Yeah.
And then everybody else's, I send it straight to this CTM, and he's like, "Yo, thank you." But it's just that simple for me. It's plain and simple. I don't have nothing that's too in depth. I just like to give back to people. You know, like at the card show last night, I told a little kid that if he found my Fernando Tatis Jr. card before me, he can have it. He found it before me, and he can have it. You know,
Hey.
I'm all about giving back, and I'm all about the no one cares mentality. Get uncomfortable and do what you got to do. Don't make excuses for yourself. You know, so and that's how I've been my whole life. You know, so.
I love it. Love it. Well, if you want to talk to Will about potentially donating to that cause of his, the Bullard Project, feel free to look in the description below. I'll have his Instagram handled there, so you can reach out to him there. But once again, Will, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate the conversation we had. It's really cool to hear your history and to hear how you got into basketball, how you got into card collecting, and also how you use the
Yeah.
Cardbase app in your life as well.
I love the Cardbase app, man. I love it. I love it. I had to show off my Pop One though. My Pop One
Oh, the Pop
King
One.
King Griffey SGC Pop One. I don't know about
I love
PSA,
it. Well, hey,
but
Pop
yeah,
One.
that's
You
my
still say
baby.
Pop One. That's awesome. Will, thanks so much again, man. And thanks for joining me.
No problem, man. Anytime.